What is up, dudes?
Hey, everybody.
Hey, y'all. Gotta get it all set up to live chat and whatnot. Tweet this bad boy out.
Hey there, Ara. Hey, Artsy Design.
What up, Ara? What's up, Artsy Designs? Good to see you guys. We got that green screen set up today. If anyone was in here for that 2-minute stream I did while I was dicking around, it's really fun. I can do stuff like this now. Like, I can just be just me hanging out with my gang.
Hey, I have a white hood too.
Yeah. What's up, DJ 2K Comics? I look like I'm the tiniest man in the world because of the way I have everything set up, but it's pretty much the only way I can do things.
But actually, the camera's up against the ceiling.
Yeah, right. It's an upshot. It's right in between my balls. You can't tell. I'm laying down. Am I late for the clan meeting? Yeah, right. No, I just thought this background from The Void would be hilarious. The stock one evidently looks like Cecil's house.
I think my favorite thing ever of you on stream was the video of this popping up earlier, of you testing this, and the surprise look on your face in the first second. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, it worked!
Oh, wow, I live here now.
Like, I've never seen that much expression on your face.
It's normally behind closed doors. Yeah, I got the HD camera set up too, so I look all crisp and not like a home. Well, I look like a homeless guy, but one that has secret money. Yeah, the pimp house is
You're
back.
like, before I looked like a homeless guy that was streaming in like 2010, 2012.
On
now I look like a modern homeless guy.
My 4 megapixel camera. Bro, if you have a piano, what's up, El Padrino? What's up, homos? There's the the team name. This is Death Curse, and these are Death Curse homos. We're bringing it back. Yeah, that's great. That's like I constantly want to be like, "What's up, you fucking nerds?" But I mean it in like the most loving way possible. Because I myself am also a huge nerd.
Oh, yeah, I always act like I'm on the cool end of the nerd spectrum. I'm like,
yeah,
what's up, you nerds? And I'm sitting there with them, you know?
Yeah. Still trying to figure out which end is the cool end of the nerd spectrum.
Oh, it's wherever I am, buddy. It's wherever I am.
And that fluctuates.
Yeah. It's at this end of the library. Are you sure that's the right answer to that question, Ryan?
I've officially watched all of Mandalorian now, and I'm gonna go back and watch it even more extensively with the girlfriend. I just like zoned out watching it last night, and then the sun was coming up, and I was like, "Oh, okay. I'll go to bed now." But I now understand why everybody was all hyped and freaking out.
Yeah. Me too.
Don't need to go into it too much still. I want to give some people some time to ingest it. No
details, but you could call me a hater on some stuff, and I am not hating this like I should. On paper, I should hate it all. On paper, if I read it, I'd be like, "Oh, they're gonna ruin. That's gonna be so dumb." And now I'm like, "Please do more of that for me."
Yeah, I'm into it. What they set up for, I'm into. It's the one thing I've been asking from in Star Wars for the entirety of my existence.
Asian sharpshooters. Asian female sharpshooters. That's ever since I've known you. You're like, I just wish they had an Asian chick that was good with a rifle.
Yeah, I want an Asian sniper. I see what people were saying too about the Robert Rodriguez episode feeling kind of weird and disjointed, but I kind of like that. And I get it because he was kind of thrown into a weird place in the overall like arc of the season. where he didn't really have a lot of wiggle room. He kind of just had to tell the story that was in front of him.
I like that he just went with let's shoot as much as we can, as in bullets and blasters.
Yeah, like it was just like, let's let Rodriguez do a big Rodriguez action scene. And that's what I mean. Like, people were complaining that it was disjointed, and I get that, but I was like, I think it's because we wouldn't have gotten that if the series just sucked in general. I don't think anyone would have even gotten to that episode. But I think it's because they're doing so good with the real, like, everyday kind of stuff. Like, that stuff really stands out and does feel disjointed when it's just like an action-heavy episode, because they're actually doing the dialogue-heavy scenes right again, and, like, characters feel like they have real motivation. So, like, the episodes have a real balance of character development and action, and then that whole episode is just like balls to the wall. And I thought it was funny that, like, people are actually complaining about that for once. What's up, Razmaz? Replacing Daisy Ridley?
Yeah,
that would be wild.
I don't pay attention to Star Wars news, you know, like
yeah, and there's
so
much
than,
of
like,
it.
What's Clownfish talking about today? Okay, I see that. Yeah,
that's the big thing too. Like, there's a couple of those dudes where I'll watch their videos and stuff. Very few of them that actually parse through that stuff and only latch on to the stuff they feel is legitimate. There's not a lot of critical thinking with rumor mill stuff usually, especially on YouTube. It's just you hear it and you gotta act on it immediately, or you're not gonna get any views. Kira Daly, Jesus. Time out. The worst joke of the night, you get no sticker.
First you owe us a sticker.
Yeah, right.
P.O. box.
Where is the green screen? Oh, it's here. I don't really live in this house. Yeah, it's not actually a green screen. I broke into some guy's house.
You're like, this is the piano I wrote Camp Rainbow at.
Oh man, I
play classical music and write horror movies and horror comics in my head.
I've been on a Camp Rainbow kick all day, like locking back into that mode. Now that I'm starting to wrap up other things, prior engagements, and I'm like writing down rules and stuff for myself. I've been watching old documentaries and like going on YouTube and watching big horror YouTubers reviews of modern slasher movies and stuff like that, and seeing what people aren't liking, and just sort of ingesting as much data as I can about all of it. And one of the biggest things I'm finding is modern slashers are mostly filler and kills. And people are looking for something that is actually, or at least they're saying they're looking for something that is actually character motivated, where the scenes develop the characters as it goes, and the deaths have real impact.
Well, even look at like Jason Lives, which is, you know, one of our favorites of Jason, where it's super campy, it's super cheesy, but it is super character driven. Everyone's got like their own little, like, I don't know, maybe not arc, but their own little storylines, each character, and they're all just like in all the movies.
The sheriff in that too, Sheriff Garris, is like, he feels like a real dad, which I always loved about that movie. He inevitably gets folded in half, but like he feels like a real dad, genuinely just trying to protect his daughter from this weirdo fucking dude. Like, and there's not really any motivation beyond that. Like, he's making these empty threats to Tommy and stuff, but he's still a good cop at the end of the day, being a good dad. And maybe he's a little bit extreme with it, but that's the thing, is like, Tommy's very believable as Tommy, where the last time you saw him was part 5, and he's like a nutcase in a mental institution, and like, I forget what the question is, but another kid tries to ask him a question and he just like fucking hip checks him over him into a fucking table. and just like smashes the table, and Tommy's just like a nutcase and makes no sense. He has like an insane reaction to everything. What's up, Silver? And then, young Tommy is Corey Feldman, who didn't really have anything to him, but it was like, yeah, that one movie does like all of the character development for Tommy throughout the series. And even the teenagers, with them being sort of one-dimensional stereotypes, you find out more about them as they go, and they at least feel like distinct people. They're not all just like airy stereotype 1, 2, and 3. That one,
even if it feels soap opera-ish, it's still, even a soap opera is about the characters.
Yeah. That's the big thing too, is like, yeah, you have your archetypes or your stereotypes or whatever you want to call them, but like it doesn't even take a lot of effort to flesh out characters that are relatable. And that's what I think is the other thing, is a lot of deviating from relatable characters. I forget which movie it was that I was watching, but there was a review where it got absolutely ripped apart, basically because all of the teenagers were like shitty asshole kids, and like you couldn't latch on to any of them. Like there wasn't a good redeeming quality to anyone. So any decent human being who was watching this movie sort of just wanted them all to die. There's like no redeeming quality to it, and the person reviewing it comments on that. It's like, that's kind of bad when there's not like, when like obviously you go into a slasher movie, everybody's sort of rooting for the slasher and going to see the like creative kills and stuff, but you still want to have like a hero to root for, and some sort of like arc to the story. You don't want to go into it and be like, oh yeah, we're gonna see 90 minutes of teenagers getting butchered and then have that be all that it is.
Well, that's Jason, what is it, Friday the 13th 2009 nailed that.
Yeah, exactly. You still want some surprises. That movie, like, it blows my mind how much people hate on that, because it's like, even just the first, what is it, like 20 minutes of that movie is like a perfect Friday the 13th short film. And it's the first 3 movies, basically, all in 20 minutes. And it's so fucking good.
So much respect to the old ones.
Yeah, and
no one being a modern movie.
Yeah, no one comments either that the first 20 minutes is, like a 1-to-1 remake of the first 3 movies, basically giving you all the setup you need for the character. But nobody comments that the last 2/3 of that movie are completely its own thing. The only thing they really recreate is they did an homage to the what's it called? The sleeping bag kill. And they didn't even do the same thing. He like slow roasts a chick in her sleeping bag. He doesn't slam her against a tree.
That is one of my favorite kills, because
it
takes a lot for me to get like wiggly in my seat, and I was like, oh god, being trapped in the it got me. I was just
that's ooh. You're not getting that instantaneous like there, it's like steps to it. So there's the guys who don't even see it coming and just get like their head swiped off really quick or whatever. I always love the ones where, they turned around and walked right into the killer or whatever, and they got that moment of being startled, and then they got the kill. There's a really good one in the remake with that too, with the Asian kid who was from what was it, The Perfect Score, I think it was like an MTV movie back in the day, where they're like trying to fudge their like SAT scores. I think it had Chris Evans in it way back in the day. The Asian kid from that is in the Friday the 13th remake, and I think he goes down to check like the electrical box, and Jason kills him in there, and it's like one of those kills where he like sees him and he's kind of high and he's like, whoa dude, like what the fuck, and then he gets killed. And then there's Jesus, where was I going with this? Oh my god, how did I lose my train of thought on this? Oh,
good kills.
Yeah, the range of kills. So yeah, there's like the instantaneous one, the see and react and then die, and then there's those ones like that chick where it is just like literal slow burn in that case, like torture. Like that's the fucking worst of it. You know, at this point, like you are stuffed in this bag and you're burning alive, and your brain is like having to process that in complete darkness while you die slowly, and you know you're probably not getting out of it. And as you're thinking, "Oh, I'm about to die," you're also probably thinking, like, "What is this giant fucking monster human done to all of my friends or about to do to all of my friends?" And it's wild. That's a really fucking gnarly kill, and that I don't think that movie gets enough credit for all the kills. I love the fucking axe throw.
Yeah.
The axe throw is like that fucking awesome run Derek Mears does right beforehand, and that like half hop skip where he whips the axe. I'm just like, that would be like the shot of the movie for me. And I think that's actually the picture we got signed from him, is him like just about to let go of the axe. It's just like a frame from the movie, and I was talking to him for like hours at Terrificon. We just like kept running into each other and kept talking. And at the end of the convention, we ran into him again. I think we were going to see Tony Todd at his table, and Mears was there, and me and Beth talked with him for a little while again. And I had been talking to him earlier that weekend about how that was like one of my favorite scenes in the movie. And he signed that photo for us, and it just says, "Run from me, Derek Mears." And I was like, that is some of the best shit ever. Which is why I always I recommend people, I'm like, world gets back to normal and cons are happening again, go fucking see that dude. Take your kids to meet that man. It's an experience.
Dude, will you throw this foam axe at my back?
Yeah, seriously. And he's the fucking Swamp Thing, man. Like, he's done so much now. He's done so much since being Jason. In a perfect world, we would get him on board for a studio film with Camp Rainbow.
Dude, there's no movies that make me want to watch extras anymore. I don't care about that stuff usually. And this movie, I immediately hopped over to YouTube. I'm all, get me behind the scenes on this. Get me something. I want a Mears interview. I want to know more about this. And because I loved everything about it. I can see what, of course there's stuff you can nitpick. I'm coming at this as a fan, not as another creator. I'm just coming at this as I sat down to watch a horror movie and I had a blast with it. And it was
they had that
edited, all the kill, everything was just so sharp.
It was so Michael Bay loves Friday the 13th so much too that he literally went through and approved the formula of Shannon and Swift. Like those dudes, they have the titty girl even. The titty girl in that one is pretty famous too. I think she was a one-hit wonder in the mid 2000s. The blonde chick, I want to say Lita Ford or something like that. Something weird.
A funny thing about the tits scene. So the girl's laying back and she, her boyfriend's looking over his friend's shoulder to see her, and she pulls them open, and they're obviously fake,
Oh yeah, that's right. There's two. That's the first titty scene.
That's the first one, yeah. But then so then when she's getting banged in the tent, it's and this was purposeful. I'm not saying this was bad directing. This was purposeful. Whatever girl they used to make the silhouette of her getting banged in the tent had real boobs because they were super jiggly, going back and forth.
I was gonna say the on-screen full frontal boobs you see are probably the most Michael Bay part of the movie. Yeah. They're just a big rubber and fake and explosive. It's very in your face.
I almost thought they were prosthetic boobs placed on the girl.
That you see her boobs for a glimpse. The Lita Ford chick, I think that's her name.
The blonde?
Yeah, it's something. I'm gonna.
Oh, that's a great kill. That's my favorite kill. The blonde
through the dock.
Yes, and then because it's
Oh
a
no,
kill
not
and a
Lita.
titty shot.
Lita Ford is the musician. Jesus.
Oh,
What
duh.
is-
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I'm like, Jesus. She was a musician though, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, you see her boobs like briefly when she's like escaping from Jason, and then you see him like full frontal when she's stabbed through the dock. And in the full frontal scene, I thought it was like exactly what you were just saying was Willa Ford. Not Lita Ford. Willa Ford is her name, and I think she was a musician. Yeah, with her debut album, the self-proclaimed bad girl of pop in 2001.
Simon7 says Spencer totally simps for Jason.
That's hilarious.
And then El Padrino's roasting you with Lita Ford, bro. MILF Squad.
Yeah, right. No, I just mixed them up because they're musicians with the same last name. Now I'm like, are they related? I'll have to go back and watch it again. Yeah, it's weird because you see like a glimpse of her boobs and they look like normal boobs, and then that full frontal shot, it like exactly like you said, it looks like they put like a torso on top of her, so she just has like comically huge boobs all of a sudden, and they're just like the rubber, like we cut a softball in half and glued it onto your chest, like.
And also they use another double for her when they show her swimming from underneath. It's so they show her walking to the beach and she's got like thigh gap for days, and then whatever girl is in the water swimming that they film from underneath is like 15 pounds heavier, way jigglier. I was like,
it's probably just a reshoot or something, because again, Bay is big with that kind of stuff. Yeah, Willa Ford's not like a bad looking chick either. And it's funny because she's actually one of the more like grounded characters in the movie, even for being like a booby girl. And she gets one of the better deaths. Like, I love hers, and I forget the blonde dude's name with her. He's in a bunch of stuff as well. Yeah, Party Down, exactly. There's the Asian kid. The black kid's the one who gets the axe in the back, and I'm pretty sure he leaves him out in the yard. This was another great shot. This was the thing, too, is all the things I've been saying for years and things that I wanted to do with Camp Rainbow, this movie did a lot of that. Granted, it did little bits of it, but we saw more of Jason during the day. I wanted to see that. I'm like, what happens when when this bleeds out into the world? Like, if it's not supernatural, it's feasible this guy wouldn't always be caught like outside at night.
Yeah.
There'd be other occasions to spot the bastard, and that's a lot of the thinking in my work on Camp Rainbow is like, yeah, this was the other titty girl, wasn't it? And she gets burned alive. Yep. Answered my own question. Yeah, I'm like going back and thinking of all these great kills. This guy got the fucking hook on the back of the what was it? The fucking tow truck.
Oh, that was brutal, and he was
that
still
like gnarly,
kind of
like that weird,
as
like
he drove off.
Yeah, it's like the tow truck, like claw foot that the cars hook onto.
Mm-hmm.
He just like spikes him on it, and the thing takes off. And I think he's getting dragged across the ground. Yeah, the mask looked great in this. This is what I actually had based my mask off of, was the newer one. It's just a whole new shape. I mean, I feel like I can ruin it for people. I can't really say spoilers on an 11-year-old movie, but the way this one ended, even subverted the final girl trope.
Yes.
Absolutely fucking amazing. That moment is like one of the fucking best moments in the movie.
Are you talking the very, very end, the last thing that happens?
When they're crawling through the tunnel with this girl.
Oh, okay. Okay. There was two
because
moments.
She's the final girl of the movie. She's set up as the final girl throughout the entire movie.
Oh, that's right. The girl from The Flash.
Yeah, and it's actually Jared Padalecki is the final boy. Like, that's the whole twist of the movie.
And, yeah, because, sorry, I was mixing up his sister.
And he's like, yeah, he ends up finding his sister and everything. And I guess you could kind of say she's like the final girl, but she's not in the whole movie. So realistically, they set up Panabaker being the final girl, subvert the expectations, and they're like, actually, it's a final boy, which is like, nowadays people would probably be all pissed off and somehow it'd be like misogynist or something. That all the women died and the men didn't jump in front of fucking machetes to die for them or something crazy. But yeah, I thought that was brilliant for the time. And I think a lot of people just innately hate Jared Padalecki. I don't really know why. Like, he's like a sufficient enough actor. Well, yeah, he's just always
great. His haircut was horrible, though.
Well, yeah, it's the Supernatural haircut. He couldn't cut it because he was still on that show at the time, and that show makes him tons of money.
Oh, I've never seen that show. I didn't know he was from.
Yeah, he's
why is it so wispy?
He's the younger brother, I think Sam Winchester, and then the other one's Dean. I watched like the first couple seasons years ago. It's not bad, but
no, people love it. I've always meant to watch it. I just haven't.
It's got some great monster work too. Yeah, that's the Asian kid, Aaron Yu. He has, I think it's like a screwdriver kill or something. Oh yeah, the pothead. Why? That was the other thing. Everything laces together really nicely in this movie. He kills the weed grower at the beginning, and you find out the kids are out there to look for that guy's weed.
Yep, it's all really well thought out.
Yeah, and when Jason starts killing everybody, they just think he's a crazy weed farmer that's pissed that they're trying to steal his weed. Like, it's brilliant early on.
I like that actor too. The guy, the younger of the weed farmers. He was like the retarded rapper on It's Always Sunny.
Oh, that's right.
He always plays interesting characters. He's he's a character actor, but he's always something oddball, but in a different direction.
Yeah, that right there is the picture I have signed.
Oh, nice.
And just the machete hanging, and he's whipping the fire axe. I think it's a double-ended axe.
Yeah, and then the way he finishes the guy, where he picks him up, I think, by the axe.
Yeah, to pull the axe handle out of him, just like shakes him off of the end of the axe.
No, he turns him around and throws him down on the ground.
Oh,
so the axe
that's
punches
right.
up through his chest. It's brutal.
That's after they don't come out to get him, right? Because isn't he the guy that uses for
there
bait?
Alive. Yeah, and he's yelling, and they're like, "No, we're not going out there. He's using him for bait." And Jason's up on the roof for a bit.
Yeah, that's another fucking excellent shot.
Which leads to another. God, every kill I keep remembering kills, and then it becomes my favorite kill. This isn't necessarily my favorite kill, but it was my favorite camera work on a kill. I think in this one where the fire poker, he slams that through the sheriff's eye, and it goes through the peephole, through the door, and the camera goes through there's no wall, and it kind of slides.
Yeah, they did that practically.
The poker. Yeah, it's so cool. I love that shot. It's badass.
I forgot about that one too. It just barely misses them on the other side.
Yeah, they go to look through the people as it's coming through.
Oh my god, yeah. I remember they have a nice little behind the scenes on that too. I remember seeing that. What's up, Randy? Yeah, where they just had the side where the camera was passing through. There just isn't actually a wall there. They just like made the faux interior in CGI. So you see like the wiring in the wall for a split second, and that's the only thing they CGI'd.
So cool. I hadn't looked up how they did it. That's cool.
Yeah, it's like basically the whole building is there except for the wall where the camera passes through, and that just like one little, like, it's probably, like 10 pixels wide on screen, just a bar going vertically up it, and they just like digitally added in the wiring there because otherwise it's just like a wooden stud. And so they made it look like more like the interior of the wall, like the camera is actually passing through the wall really quick and out the other side. It was cool. A great effect. And again, so well done that people just assumed it was all CGI and they blended two scenes together. Because that's normally like a one-shot editing trick. There was something else I watched with that recently too, where they did a lot of smart creative stuff. Joe Lynch's Wrong Turn 2 was another one that had a lot of that. Just shooting kill scenes like very creative and effectively for cheap. So like I had never actually seen Wrong Turn 2, and I finally went and watched it, and like right in the beginning of the movie there's a chick who gets like her like bottom lip or like her lips bitten off basically, and while she's freaking out about that, she turns around and a guy just splits her in half with her with a giant like hunting axe and just splits her down the middle. But you see the split down the middle, she turns around really quick and you see the quick shot of this guy swinging the axe. And then it quick cuts to the camera behind her at her feet and just like looking down the road in between her feet, and blood and intestines hit the ground right in front of the camera and splatter all over the place. And then the two halves of the body fall and hit on either side. And it's literally just a guy standing up over the camera holding the two pieces of the body up and the organs. And when they say action, they drop the organs in the blood and let go of the two halves of the body and they fall. And then the two guys playing the fucking mutant cannibals grab each half by the ankles and starts dragging them down the road into the frame. And they just keep walking down the road, each dragging half of her body. And it's a great little scene. But it's so smartly shot, and when you see it, it's like the dummy barely looks like the chick. Like they did cast her body, but they spent like no time like color matching or anything. They were like, just get a close approximation because we're barely going to see it on screen. You're going to see it in a wide shot as the slices are being dragged across the ground. I could Google it, but I'm too lazy. Does anyone know if they still make Fangoria magazine? Yes, they do. It's a quarterly. I believe it's like $80 a year now. They've definitely gotten more progressive in recent years, but I hear it's still quality coverage of horror stuff. So if you're into that, go check it out. I'm hoping to work with them on some stuff. And their new owner just tweeted something out about how they're hoping to open Fangoria Studios up in 2021. And I believe she alluded to figuring out an open submission process. And we made contact with them recently about potentially getting some stuff in there. So we'll see where that goes. But yes, they are back around. They are a quarterly thing, though. You can't find them in stores. It's like subscription only. But they do a physical magazine. Yeah. Actually, let me pull this up real quick. Oh, yeah, guys. All the links, obviously, for all the campaigns and everything are in the video description. But more importantly, I started adding in the Charlie Snowgan's Family Cancer Relief Fund. It's already hit its goal. Yes. But obviously, more helps. Cancer fucking sucks. And Charlie's a kick-ass artist. And his wife got cancer. Seemingly survived it as far as I know. I don't really know Charlie. I just saw this. He's a part of the community. I'm a huge fan of his art. And just wanted to throw the link in there and keep spreading the word about it. So if you haven't already, check it out and donate if you can, guys.
Yeah, it was all news to me, and not that we have to keep talking about cancer, but it was all news to me. And what I heard was that she's on the mend, but that the bills have piled up and stuff like that, and that there's still treatments to go through. So it's good, but also good with baggage.
Exactly. As with everything with medical stuff, it sucks.
So I'm just sharing the link if
Yeah,
it's tight
exactly.
right now for everyone. Just sharing the link because you never know who will see it and be able to donate.
Exactly. Share it out. There's also Horror Hound. Yeah, and I don't know if does Rue Morgue still exist? I don't know if they do. I don't really know anymore with them. Yeah, I figured there's the kill count with James A. Janice, so I can just pull that up. Oh god, that's obnoxiously loud.
Where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm James.
I don't like this side. I like the act of watching the kill count. I don't like all the da-da-da-da.
Real fast though, and Eric Feig, the latter of whom was a
Yeah, I don't know what's with the being like way up his ass thing.
As I mentioned,
I think he's like a Canadian guy, so he's probably not way up his ass. He's probably like the nicest guy in the world. But it comes across that way on YouTube. YouTube personas are just always cringy. I'll leave it at that. I don't want to hate on this dude because I like his stuff.
No, that's there's people like that. They're weird, but then like I like their content, so then I end up, I don't know.
Yeah, I think that just ends up being part of the like play in the YouTube game, and I hate it.
No, I don't. So don't watch my next Late Night Inks episode where I'm like, "Welcome to Late Night Inks."
Right.
All right. Well, we're gonna be slinging some ink tonight.
Doing like magician's tricks and shit. Well, this scarf just won't stop coming.
But this is how I have to talk to get sponsored by Squarespace. Then, oh well.
All right, fuck it. Yeah, so this is the kill I was talking about.
Oh, brutal.
Another mountain man shows up.
Rex Doom, what is up? I don't know if I said hi to you already. Losing my mind? Yeah, boom.
Nice.
And then they just drag her halves down the road.
That's awesome. They need a wheelbarrow.
This movie's fun music that you just heard is by Bear McCreary in one of his earliest film scores. He's done a ton of great work in horror, but I know most recently...
It's kind of like me being her. You're not her. I'm not transitioning. Just slip that in here real quick. Yeah, so that was the kill. The actress, I thought it was really cool, was really pumped for her.
They did a banging job, right?
Yeah, she's like stoked. Fucking dope.
Cast to replicate every inch tattoo, a skateboarder named Jonesy.
Oh, that's cool. That's such a rad prop that they made.
Yeah, and I'm like thinking of ways I can do things like this on a smart budget.
Just find those guys and see, like, can we rent the corpse you have and then find her? She's probably works for a decent rate. Just use all corpses from other existing movies.
I was gonna say, if I could get those two halves of that body, I could just redress the hair and everything and make that look like whoever. But I think I could. Funny. I think I could honestly make one of those, no problem. I really think
there's those punching bag dummies too that you could start with even.
Well, I was thinking depending on the outfit, I can make a body form for the most part. And then the only things I really need to cast are the key points you're going to see. So like the hands, the feet, the halves of the head. I could even potentially get away with making the concave part of the torso something different. Like you got to figure if a lot of it's not going to be on screen or depending on how it's shot. If a lot of it's covered up with clothing already, I can get really creative with it. That was the same thing. I'm trying to figure out a head pop. And the easiest way to like make eyes explode and stuff like that.
Dale leads them through the woods for Joe Lynch by a throat slit and a scalping.
Yeah, I watched the thing about making fake eyes and exploding them. You sent me down some rabbit hole months ago of like homemade horror effects. I'm not even making them, and I was like, 4 hours later, I'm like, this is doable.
Yeah. This is another great one.
An axe finds itself in Mara's head. Holy shit! Mara had Final Girl written all over her. You fucking got me wrong, turn two. You boomed me. Mara's kill was accomplished using the Snorri
Into a block behind her head.
Icelandic photographers Einar and Ader Snorri. You've seen it used in a whole bunch of
Trying to
movies and
guess
music
before they
videos,
show
usually
it.
to show disorientation. Under the coordination of effects artist Bob Coleman.
Oh, that's
the
so
fake axe
cool.
was rigged to the Snorri cam and swung into actor Alexa Palladino's
Yeah,
head.
so it looks
In
like they
fact,
just throw it into her head in the
a single take.
middle of a run.
Pa takes his arrows out hunting for Nina. He finds her headset camera on the ground and puts it on, but he doesn't sniff her out from upside down, where he sees mutant having all to do with the prize money if they want.
Game's over.
Yeah, I'd say on-camera cannibalism is probably going to keep this show from getting picked up. They get back to the RV site and find the trailer gone. The old-timer says the deformed family continues pausing further,
Yeah, it's obnoxious.
and then reveals that he's part of
What's
the
up,
family.
Phoenix?
Hello! He's no match for Dale, though, who grabs a stick of dynamite, lights its fuse, and stuffs it into the old dude's pants before running away. Really glad you did that, Daddy Dale, because this kill is one explosive fucking mess.
Yeah.
Absolutely love
And that's
it.
why I need to go to
That's the
Kentucky.
hilarious face actor Wayne Robson makes
For,
before he blows
explosive
up.
laws?
First kill, they
Yeah.
stuff a fake body full of detonation cord.
Yeah,
Not
det
explosive laws, but explosives laws.
det cords and fucking condoms full of blood and pig guts.
Which really pleased director Joe Lynch.
Yeah, Joe Lynch. Joe Lynch and Adam Green, the dude who created Hatchet, are like really good friends. They actually did like a horror sitcom together that's on Shudder now called Holliston.
Called Holliston?
Holliston, like the town.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's all practical effects. The show is it took a bit for me to warm up to it. Like the first season's a little rough and they're trying to get more going, but it's like a sitcom, sort of like Big Bang Theory, but for like horror nerds. And like Dee Snider was in it. Odorous from Guar was in it. Tons of weird ass cameos. Kane Hodder was a recurring character on it. Odorous is actually one of their like imaginary friends. Like they're two roommates and they're all grown up, but one of them's childhood imaginary friend is the vocalist of Guar. They're like there's some genuinely funny parts of it, but it's also corny as hell. But yeah, they're the dudes responsible for a lot of different stuff. Joe Lynch did Mayhem as well with Stephen Yeun and Samara Weaving.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Lots of horror overlap. But yeah, shit like this is just like why I want to do a prosthetics kills movie. Oh my god, I Know What You Did Last Summer. I forgot Jack Black was in that as a complete asshole. Or I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, I should say.
I forgot he's in that too. He was in everything for a while.
Skinning people's faces. Really easy. So that one's gonna be fun. I almost think I want to do that on myself because it would be easy to cast myself and punch all of my beard and everything. But have Buddy like fucking slit my throat, stand on my back, and just peel my head skin off. Like just deglove my head.
Yeah.
It'd be wildly unrealistic, but I think it'd look cool.
Now I know there's gonna be blood and guts everywhere, but is there a kill planned where it's like a disemboweling, where it's spilling guts?
Yeah, I wanted to do something like that.
Because I worked with a friend when I was like 19 at an art store, and his grandpa had a story from when he was a kid in El Salvador of like cruising down the street, and some guy came out of some pub, and he was holding his stomach, and he fell to his knees, and when his arms fell, his stomach opened up and his guts fell out all over the street.
Oh yeah.
And then the guy died. Like, oh man, I remember that story. I was like, that's such a brutal way to die, where it's not an instant kill, you know?
Yeah. Yes, we are artsy. We're making a short horror film. Hopefully, in the next year, if everything goes according to plan.
Are these guys planning murders or a movie? I need to check real quick.
I've actually been looking at other film Indiegogos and Kickstarters and stuff, and a lot of them in sort of the same range are looking for about the same amount of money I had budgeted out for what I think I'll need. And I had actually put a little cushion in to play it safe, so I'm imagining that's what they did too. But not knowing dick about what I'm doing, and just sort of throwing these numbers together from my own research, and then finally thinking, oh yeah, other people have done this before, I should go look at other Kickstarters and things. Went and did that, was like really surprised at how close my estimations already were on a lot of things. And with guys like Ara on board and stuff like that, I might not need to worry so much about any sort of equipment rental. It'd be more so a matter of paying Ara a good rate to work with my dumbass. But yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. My biggest focus is making sure I feed everybody really well while we're there, and we have really good gore effects. Because the biggest thing is, if I shoot it right and everything, I can spend all the time in the world editing and color correcting it in post, like making it look all really good. But I want it day of to look good in frame, so that all I really have to do is color correction at the end. And obviously like audio and stuff like that. But
and you're also surrounded by a handful of great comic artists / storyboarders.
Well, that's
with yourself as well, you know. So
that's the cool thing too, is I can I'll be able to bounce all these ideas off of you guys, and then like when it's on set, and hopefully I can get everyone out there for it and everything, having all those creative minds on hand to just troubleshoot on set. Because that's what I've learned a lot of filmmaking is too, is like your script is your guideline. It's almost looser than comics. There's a lot of times where you'll see films deviate really hard from the original script, and screenwriters get pissed about it and stuff like that. But that's mine is going to be a lot tighter, obviously, because there's the vertical integration of me writing it, pretty much directing and producing and everything. Obviously with a team of other people, I'm not going to be taking all the credit on this, but as of right now, it's like I'm sort of mashing it all together in my head on my own. So there is that sort of streamlined, the product won't be bastardized in the end from the script unless it's a decision we made on set organically. It's not like I'm handing a baby off to someone and telling them to raise it, sort of thing. Which filmmaking seems to be. That was another thing, like doing all this research and everything, seeing that and being like, wow, it's a miracle good movies even get made. Like,
oh yeah, no,
yeah,
it really is.
With how many hands are in that pot, man, it's insane. And that's why the more I researched, the more I was like, it'd almost be better to just have who we need on set and have everybody really bust their ass and just feed everybody really well and pay everybody decently. And then if the thing does become financially viable, everybody has a little bit of equity in the film. And we can all profit from it and maybe come back and do it again in a year or whatever. I like
People
that
love
idea
profit shaming.
more. Yeah, I like that idea way more than trying to get 20, 30 people together for this set. Unless obviously we can get that kind of funding, then I'm totally cool with it. If we can get more hands on deck and still not spend a shitload of money, because the biggest thing is I don't want money coming away from the effects budget. I want things to be as gory and awesome as we can possibly get them. I don't even think that'd be considered crashing the set at that point if you show up dressed as Leatherface. You just wouldn't be able to film anything. You'd be like, for copyright purposes, this guy is blurry face.
That'd
be great.
out!
It's one of those
I can't see him.
Like Gangland interviews with Leatherface where they blurred out his face, but it's still just incoherent, retarded screeching. Every time they ask him a question. And great Netflix subtitles which say incoherent, retarded screaming. Which I always love. The Netflix literal captions are the best. Oh, thanks, Netflix. I had no idea those were gunshots and sounds of people dying.
Yeah, that's actually not. I'm not an advocate for them or anything. I've just seen it, but that's a thing the deaf community is super annoyed with. Is how if you're gonna do something for us, give us a little something more.
Yeah,
describe something to us. It's all random gun sound.
I'm honestly shocked with all that development and everything too. They haven't come out with some sort of symbology or something like that where it's emojis. Exactly. So this is the context and tone of this character's voice. So while you're reading it, because I have to imagine it's hard to both read the dialogue and process the facial emotion and everything that's going on in a scene, especially depending on the shot. You're in a wide shot or whatever, and then a lot of movies and stuff on Netflix just has really incomplete what's it called, captions, so it'll just make no fucking sense, and sometimes it'll just drop out and you won't get any captions for a little while. Yeah, see, a lot of stuff like this was cool to go through and be like, okay, so if I'm doing something like this and it's an homage, I need to think of it like comedy, and if I'm gonna riff on someone else's kill, I need to take it to the next level and make it better, sort of thing. Saw and stuff like that is no help though. That's all torture porn. A lot of this too helped me just weed out bad ideas that I had that I started to realize were just the go-to in everything. I found I was really surprised that the Bob kill in the original Halloween hadn't been recreated a bunch. What is up, Rusty? Bob's pinned to the wall kill.
Oh, that one. Okay, yeah, I was just gonna ask which one that was.
Yeah, and then Michael comes back wearing his ghost sheet.
I didn't watch what's his name
phone cord.
I didn't watch the zombie remakes. He didn't even do that in his.
So he did it in that one, but that's a remake. I almost don't even count that. The only other one
Gotcha.
I can really think of past that is was it Friday 3 when Jason kills the bikers and he pins Gloria, the lady biker, with a pitchfork in the neck. He pins her to the rafter upstairs in the barn. And then he stabs the other white biker who's smoking a cigarette in the dry-ass barn. which I always thought was funny because like in reality that barn would have burst into flames almost instantly. Like
Yeah, totally.
it's just like dry dust and old hay all over the place. Like sweet 80s cigarette with some rocket fuel. Yeah. Ironically, that set burnt down years later because of dumb drunk kids. I don't know if you've ever heard that story. Some drunk kids were like driving through the area and got lost and decided to break in and stay in the cabin for the night, thinking it was a real cabin, and started a fire in the fireplace, thinking it was a real cabin, and it was a show cabin. And they basically just set a wood fireplace on fire. Because it all looked like stonework, but it was all made of like wood and like sprayable foam and shit, like highly flammable shit.
That's like the gag in all tons of movies where like you're just driving through the desert and all of a sudden you're on a nuclear test range.
Yep.
Like it's like the real life version of that kind of thing.
Yep, they pulled up on a movie set and were evidently the only people in that part of California that are not familiar with Friday the 13th and that movie set being there.
Weird. That's something kind of trippy that the
captions on screen for the deaf. The really early Batman TV show used to have sound effects like in the comics. You moved on with the topic though. Yeah, no, that was always great. The onomatopoeia that they did. I'm assuming you're talking like 66 Batman.
Yeah.
Because that was like brilliant. That's one of those things too. It's like you're already paying some guy. Like tell them to like put a little bit of fucking flair into the writing or something, guys. Jesus.
It'd be funny because then there'd be like translators that get requested. They're like, "Oh, I love the way this guy does."
Yeah, could you imagine that? You got like a little signature, like captions by Death Curse. We do the best ones. That'd be
no. The only reason I even know that people are into that is because my wife actually knew some people that were part of a group that translated memes for the blind.
That is insane. How do I get that job?
It's out there, man.
Yeah, right? Holy shit, that's cool.
Yeah, because my wife did some too, and she was actually really good at it. They were like, "Will you do more for us?" She's like, "I don't have time right now, but I'm so sorry. I feel bad now."
Didn't work with blind, but we had like a program at the middle school and elementary school that I went to, where like regular kids could team up with like the disabled kids and stuff. It's like weird like pen pal program, but they were like in our school, so you got like it was like once every 2 weeks or something, you got like a period where you got to like get together with them and hang out. Just like do cool stuff and connect with these kids that otherwise didn't really get a lot of like FaceTime with other kids. Because they just,
helping out losers.
It wasn't even that. It was just like in the 90s, like I didn't even as a kid understand like what the fuck was going on, like why these kids were separated from everybody else. But it was because they had disabilities, so they needed like special fucking hands-on care to, fucking learn what they needed to learn. And like I regret it. Because I not regret doing that, but I regret that I don't know like sign language anymore. Because like doing that program back in the day, I just like picked up sign language and used to be like decent at it. And I picked up a book on it like last year and started rereading it again and realized that like all of it is gone from my brain. Just like completely out of there. I don't know if it's like from hitting my head or whatever, but it was like I used to know like fairly fluent sign language because high school afterwards, like towards the end when I was a senior in high school, a buddy Bobby of mine's girlfriend Rachel was like completely deaf, and he was like weirdly timid about bringing her around all of the guys for a while because he thought like we were gonna like make fun of him or her or something like that. not that we were like horrible people. Bobby was just weirdly sensitive like that. And he brought her around, and she was like signing to him one day, and I just realized like I could understand what she was saying with her hands, and I was like, oh my god, I still have it. But that was what, 22 years or 12 years ago now? Jesus, 22 years ago. Yeah, when I was 8. 12 years ago now when I was 18. And yeah, like I just remember I used to like talk to her every once in a while with it. But she was also one of those deaf people that was like wildly deaf, but would still try to talk to you every once in a while. And it would like throw you off.
So annoying. God.
Yeah, right. Well, no,
Jeez.
it would be like alarming.
Stick to your own lane, people.
Yeah, right. Well, no, she literally like could not like say like a clear word at all. So like every once in a while she would go to say something and it would be like you had been hanging out for so long that even she was so comfortable she would forget she was deaf, and she'd go to say something to you and be like, oh fuck, like yeah, I'd be like, I can't talk, and then start signing to you, and you're like, oh, it's all good, Rachel, like I'm sorry. Man, and now I'm just like, I haven't talked to Bobby in forever. I feel sad.
Call him up live right now. Let's do it.
Yeah, right. Hey, Bobby, you still dating that deaf girl?
He's like, yeah, we were sleeping.
Yeah, right. You woke me up. She can't hear anything.
Oh wait, now the light from the phone woke her up too. Thanks a lot, Spencer.
Right. That was one of the best things. Was after like 3 or 4 years of them dating, Bobby just started making the most reckless deaf jokes all the time because like they had gotten way too comfortable together. And like even she would laugh at them and just talk about something that'll like, that's like gasoline on a fire if you're already laughing and a deaf girl starts laughing hysterically.
Oh my god, I know.
At deaf jokes. Oh man. Like they're clearing it in the room for everybody and you're like, oh, it's safe. All right, cool. Oh man. I'm gonna laugh. I'm not
afraid to do any accent on this show, and right now I totally don't want to do like the deaf accent. Like,
yeah.
Although I feel like if Jeff was here, I'd have to.
Yeah, deaf Jeff. Hi guys.
I know Danzig.
I love how little that joke makes sense. His favorite musician. I like the vibrations of Danzig. Lunchtime, so I have to take the doggo for a walk. Catch you when I get back. Oh yeah, I always forget you're over in Japan. I love that. It's literally the exact other side of the world, I guess, because it's like 11:15 here. And Rusty's just taking.
Think you can take this guy out, man?
Oh, that's great.
Shit, that was incredible. That dude's head just blew up.
And another reason we need to go to Kentucky.
I mean, wow. Tom Savini mastered the exploding head in Maniac. And for this,
Kentucky, here we come. With our condoms full of blood and our blood loaves.
Yeah, something about that makes my dick hurt. Like every time I read it in research, is the condom's full of blood, and like, oh, it's so funny. Yeah, like just thinking it every time, I'm like, that's never good. You see all these documentaries and dudes talking about times where they didn't have condoms on set for the blood packs and how fucked up it came out, and like how much it was like a huge pain in the ass on set because they didn't have the condoms. And I was like, wow. I really need to buy a bunch of condoms for this movie. Like,
I don't know. I've pissed enough blood in my life that this is triggering painful memories. Thinking of blood, the blood-filled condom.
I think you pee
just
blood
those
one
words
time
together all of a sudden.
Exactly. You pee blood one time and you hear condom full of blood, and there's like nothing good can come from this.
Like, I immediately think I'm wearing it, and why is it full of blood?
Yes, exactly.
Like. And then
that could be its own horror short on its own.
That was probably is the first time I pissed blood when I had kidney stones. It was just at a buddy's house using the bathroom, and it was one of the trippiest moments ever, where it's just solid red coming out of you, and you're like, wait, why is that happening? Is this real?
Right.
And like, you're like, please stop happening.
That was part of my research too for the eyeball popping was can I do the eyeball popping just like filling a condom with blood and painting it over to look like an eye and then squeezing it really hard so it explodes? Should I do something else? Should I just cast it in Jello and paint it so it squishes really easy? Stuff like that. All things I need to think about.
I had a friend whose sister. Oh, go ahead.
I think that's what they did with Wrong Turn for the eyeballs that they eat and stuff. Is made it with Jello. Because that would make the most sense, you know. Then they can pop it off. It's like jelly, and they can just fucking eat it really quick. But I don't know.
Yeah, if you did it right, you could even have a little liquid in with the gel. It's like mixed, like so it's juicy too.
Yeah, right. I mean, even fake blood normally is like it's like sugar water, so you could definitely do that too. Or just put a blood capsule inside of the Jello, so when they chew into it, it pops and they get real juicy.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that would work. Real juicy. I had a friend in high school. His sister was jogging by a golf course, and she got hit in the eye with a golf ball, and it literally popped her eyeball like a zit. Like popped it open, and like all the gunk went down her face.
Oh yeah.
She had no problem describing it afterwards.
Yeah,
like I think she had dealt with such a traumatic thing. And
yeah, it's like, what the fuck do you do after that? Yeah,
you know, so she liked grossing people out with the story and stuff. And
that was one of our friends, Julia, lost her eye in a car accident. She's like the same way about it. Yeah, girl's gorgeous too, so it's like hilarious when she'd be like, "You guys want to see my fake eye?" and just like slap it out of her head really quick, and you're like, "Fuck!" Like,
El Padrino says, "Get cow eyes, Fear Factor style." Yeah, we had a kid bring in school in like 3rd grade. We had a kid whose dad was like a butcher or something, and he brought cow brains, cow eyes, and organs to the class.
I'm just gonna
for us
mute
to
this.
look
We
at.
don't need the audio.
And I was like the only one that was like totally interested. I was like, I thought it was gross, but I was like, I don't know. I kind of want to hold an eyeball. When am I going to get to hold an eyeball? I want to see what this is.
Yeah, right.
And like poking the brain and stuff. But like looking back, the thing that's weird as an adult me is that they were on paper plates.
Oh yeah, wow.
That's what they were passing around. Where like now I'd be like, why aren't they in? Wait. First of all, is this even
suggesting
safe?
to eat them? Yeah. Like, is this your personal collection?
I wasn't even thinking suggesting to eat. I just meant in like the sort of trashy presentation of like organs on paper plates. But
I don't think I told you
picnic.
either. I wrote down some ideas, like I had said before. If we're booking the location for X amount of days, basically the way that works, we essentially have to pay up front. So we book the amount of days. If we need more, we can hopefully buy more from them or whatever, or pay for more from them. But if we end up doing it in less time, I was like, we'll have the location, we'll still have a bunch of people there, and we'll still have the budgeted food and everything for the amount of days that we booked it for. So if that's the case, I was like, we could shoot some other little shorts and stuff. So I came up with some other ideas for quick shit that we could do. So there's one where I have to basically build a monster puppet that I think will be time consuming but easy to do. And then essentially everybody will have to wear like flannels and jeans, and maybe dress a couple people up as cops, but we can reuse outfits from Camp Rainbow for that potentially. And that one's just a bunch of small town people searching for a monster. It's literally called Search Party, and they're like walking through the woods looking for this thing until they inevitably find it. They come upon some other stuff, like torn up little children and stuff like that. But it's basically slow burn looking for this monster in this small town, and a big monster reveal. with some cool gore shots. That one is gonna be just like a straight up fake trailer, and then
we're gonna have a party. A search party, yeah.
Right. That'd be hilarious. We'll shoot 2 versions. One is like a really hardcore horror comedy. The kids are missing. Why are you smiling? We're gonna have a
they
search
all act
party.
like they're in a 60s beach movie.
Yeah. They're wicked excited that kids are missing in the town again because it means all the Midwestern dads are gonna get to load up their guns and kill something. Bob, grab your gun. They're all just like perfectly choreographed car lines and shit, like convoys of dudes, a bunch of rednecks on the backs of trucks, but everybody's like grinning from ear to ear and happy as fuck.
It's been too long since our gun's been loaded.
Right? It's a musical.
All that kind of stuff.
Holy shit.
So good.
Yeah, like that. What is that? Oh, it's a musical my girlfriend loves too. It's like 7 Sisters for 7 Brothers or some shit like that. It's like wicked old school, like golden age musical. I probably got it wrong, but that would be amazing. It would also just come across really gay because it's a bunch of dudes singing. Oh my god. Oh yeah, this was great too about the My Bloody Valentine, how all the footage changed so much. Like the grain and color correction. Because I guess they were using like different cameras for each scene.
We'll fix it in post. Are you sure about that?
Yeah, they were. I think this had the 3. This was like one of those back when 3D was a gimmick the first time in the 80s. And so I think like some of it was shot in 3D and then some of it wasn't. And you can see the quality changing. In the middle of kills too. That's hilarious. Danzig is gay. Yeah, we'd have to get Danzig in that. It's bad when I'm like, I hate Danzig, or I'm indifferent to Danzig, I should say, because I don't hate him, but I don't like him. But it's bad where I'm in a place where I'm like, it would be entertaining for me to be more familiar with Danzig's stuff so I could make more jokes about it. And
I think it would, especially because now there's like 40 some years of material.
Yeah, like
through.
there's a fucking fountain of youth in there. I could be laughing into my teens again.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I'm like, also there's the part of me that's like, nope, that's just the dumb side of you justifying looking into Danzig. Like,
you just don't want to admit you're a fan, and you're gonna go through this whole rigmarole.
Yeah, right. Part of me is worried I'm gonna end up liking Danzig now that I'm older. Oh fuck.
It's like, and not even the Misfit stuff. So you like his like acoustic Sam Haines stuff from a few years back or something.
Yeah, probably. I'm gonna end up liking the gayest stuff, like all the Danzig stuff that Danzig's diehard fans can't stand. Oh my god, he did this folk album and it's amazing. Oh, of course you like that. Yeah. I'm gonna be that guy, the contrarian Danzig dude. But no, now I'm really kind of pulling for that. I'm indifferent to Danzig, so one day we'll cross paths and be homies.
Definitely.
I hear his movies are nuts. I've yet to watch Veronica, but I need to. Had some other one, I think, just like wrapped on production too. I forget the name. One of the dudes, I was pretty wrecked, but one of the dudes sent me a picture. Maybe it was Jeff actually that sent it to me the other day. It's like a vampire movie he's doing, and Devon Sawa's in it. Mm-hmm. It's like vampires fucking, and they're like biting each other and bleeding all over the place. And it was like, this is the sex scene from Danzig's new vampire movie. And I was like, yeah, that tracks. Of course it is.
It'd be funny. He's like, you meet him and he's like, I want to finance Camp Rainbow, but I have to play Buddy. You're like,
Right.
It's kind of a height thing, dude.
Yeah.
Damn, what a conundrum to be in.
Is there another misfit whose shoulders you can sit on?
Do you guys come in pairs? At least?
Yeah.
Actually, you could get Jerry if you got Jerry only. That's one of the misfits. That's one of the big. There's a couple big misfits.
My buddy Walter got in his movie. He got one of the monkeys. Actually,
like,
I think
hey,
it was.
Hey, were the monkeys?
Yeah, like the Monkees, like the band. I think it's the one who died actually, like a few years back now. It actually could have been longer. Oh, what is his name? Jesus, hang on. Oh, also, I found out I can just pay for an IMDb profile, and then I can upload whatever shit I want. Because it was like the other day, like, can we get that listed on there and like pre-pro and stuff once I have like a better like idea of what's going on? Because I had a couple buddies that were like, that's a good way to actually sort of passively find investors, is there's a lot of guys with IMDb Pro accounts and producers and agents and managers and stuff like that will just like look for unrepresented people that have interesting projects going on there. Especially if you're doing shit and it's actually going up. That's why I was like, oh man, if we just do it with an IMDb page and start putting it up on YouTube, free to watch, and like linking them with the IMDb page and everything, we'll just passively eventually start growing shit on there too. But I was like, what do you have to do for IMDb? And it was like, oh yeah, just pay. Like, Peter Tork. Right? I believe that's the one from the Monkees. Yes.
Yeah, wait. Yeah, there's Nesmith. Is it pronounced Torque though?
Tork. Might be pronounced.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I don't know. That just sounded weird. I used to watch that show all the time as a kid, and that just sounded weird.
Yeah, so Peter Tork was in it.
Or Davey Smith, whatever.
And then Gigi Allen's brother Merle was also in the movie, and
M.M. Allen.
Yeah, and then fucking Lloyd Kaufman.
Oh, right on.
Who I was pissed because the theater called me in to work a double that night. So I didn't end up getting to be on set for fucking Lloyd being in town, but they shot it in a theater like 2 towns away from where I was living at the time. It was like maybe like 15 minutes from where I worked, and the whole time I was just like, let me out of work, like as soon as something lets up, let me out of work. And it ended up being like one of the busiest nights of the year for the theater, so it's like, god damn it, like I never ended up getting out. But
and your manager was the former pro wrestler, so it's not like you're gonna like skip out on him.
Actually, he said I was the only dude at the theater that was like actually intimidating to him.
Damn, look at you.
I was his wild card. Crusher Kong was big, but he knew that I was a fucking nutcase.
Spencer was bigger.
Yeah.
Spencer had more of other people's teeth in his knuckles.
Yeah, I was. He also was just like had seen me work like fucking like 18-hour shifts at the theater and shit, and like clock out and then go watch like 2-3 movies back to back and be like, what the fuck is wrong with this kid? Yeah, those are the good old days. I just busted my ass there so I could do like whatever the fuck I wanted. So then like when I stayed till like 4 a.m. playing Call of Duty with the dudes like on like the IMAX screen, they couldn't give me shit for it.
I did that at every job. I learned that early on from like older dudes. It was like, even if you don't like the job, whatever, that's just life. Get over that fact quick. You know, if you chose the job, then just fucking do a good job at it. And then they were like, but do a really good job and you'll be able to kind of like be yourself at your job. Like,
Yeah,
you
it's
can be
like,
your idiot self if you do a really good job at everything else.
I could have probably like beaten a manager half to death in front of an audience and like gotten away with it there. Like I was that good at my job. And I wasn't even a projectionist early on, but I was like, not kidding. I ran into one of my buddies, John, who still works there, a couple months back, and he said up until lockdown hit, they were still referencing me by name in every employee meeting to like every new employee. Like I was known at corporate at Rave Cinemas before they officially sold. Like those guys all made their
Rave?
money. Yeah, they all made their money and took off. I've told the story about this before. They were basically like a group of investors that came in, and the mission statement was essentially, we're going to buy into the theater business, make a fuckload of money over 5 years, and then sell. And I think they ended up staying in for like 7 years or something like that. I was there for like 2 of it. They were great. When I was there, you could see like however many free movies you wanted to, and because I was so good at my job, they just let me bring in whoever the fuck I wanted whenever the fuck I wanted, and I rarely had to pay for anything there. They comped me tons of stuff all the time because, again, I just whooped ass at my job. And then anything that expired, like candy and stuff like that, we just put in boxes on the back shelves for employees to eat because it got spoiled out anyways, and it wasn't actually like bad. Like, it wasn't going to kill you or anything other than a couple things. Not that we're going to kill you, but like they'd probably make you sick if you ate them after they were expired. But yeah, we would just like, oh, we're gonna go get like a 30 pack of Reese's Pieces boxes and go fucking play Call of Duty till 4 a.m. That's the good old days. We would get really high and do the Fathom events. Because if you were on Fathom for a night, you didn't have to do anything else. They had a regular projectionist, and then your shift was just like making sure the Fathom event ran smoothly.
The events. That's what I forgot. I was like, what is
yeah, so
yeah.
They basically had them that way. It would be very select premieres. So like if Rave was still around, I could have actually probably booked a couple Rave theaters with a Fathom event and like aired Camp Rainbow at least my local theater if I wanted to. Like, that's how hooked up I was at corporate. That's why I was bummed when they officially sold, because I was hoping after they went 2 years past their mission statement that they were just like, oh, the money's too good, we're staying in the theater business. But they eventually sold to Cinemark. They like stayed to their word, just not their timetable. But I was really hoping they would hold out, because it's like, I'll always have that connection, and then like being able to get in like real like theaters, not nationwide, but like a chain that is nationwide potentially, would be huge, and like not have like a studio element. And that's where you can haggle and be like, hey, we'll give you guys half of ticket sales, we don't give a fuck. Like that's still insane money if your movie even sells decently. The problem is nowadays, like we've talked a million times, is studios spending too much fucking money on a movie. It's the same thing with comics. It's like except in comics now, they're not really they're not paying anybody a decent page rate, so there's not this huge overhead on issues, but the issues suck absolute balls, so they're still not making their money back.
No, the way they pay
up,
now
Edwin?
is basically this is just an example. I'm not saying this specific comic, but Spider-Man number 20, the pre-orders for that go into paying the creators for Spider-Man 21. Like, that's how behind they are on things.
Which is insane. Like, everybody should just be swimming in money.
Here, I want to show you this before we get too far away from it, too. Sorry, you can stay on topic, but I just want to show you.
Especially like Spider-Man. Oh, hell yeah, whatever.
Adam Warlock brought up the Henry and Glenn comics, where it's Glenn Danzig and...
Oh my god, and Henry Rollins.
Henry Rollins. Look at the H and G for Everhart.
Oh my god.
The Misfits tattoo on Henry's arm. The lovesick Glenn Danzig in his mesh top, his belt buckle, his Michael Golden belt buckle, and then I thought you would also appreciate the interior art.
It's like something I'd write in a fever dream. Lemmyos, holy shit.
So yeah, we can you can check this out more
right
later. But it's
who created this?
Igloo Tornado.
Oh, of course. Holy shit, that's wacky.
And then because it's from 2002, so it's even making fun of it's like memeing stuff from the time. Like he's like, "I'll be home in time to make dinner. It's Taco Tuesday," and he says, "Can you get the groceries and don't forget the kitty litter?" Because that was when that picture of him carrying the kitty litter first came out.
Oh my god. I told Jeff I need to Photoshop that fucking picture of him unwrapping the present, but it's a copy of City of Rot.
Yeah,
and like I'm pretty sure like it took Jeff a while to respond because I'm pretty sure that's like a dream of Jeff's for Danzig to just own a copy of one of his books. I was like, oh, I was making a joke, but then now that I think about it, that's like probably legitimately something Jeff would love.
Oh, hell yeah.
Like reverse psychology ruined his Christmas. Like,
you gotta make that happen now. You gotta get City of Rot and Glenn Danzig.
Oh, I feel like that would be really easy. Hang on.
You're like, I'm gonna send him a digital copy of what we have right now.
Dude, you remember back in the day, when it was like really easy to send fan mail to celebrities, and now everybody's like worried about getting killed because people are crazy.
Yeah, I've told you like when I was in high school, back to the Bosstones in the early the mid '90s. Like I wrote to them and a bunch of other punk bands, and the Bosstones wrote back, "Ryan, your letter sucked. Love, the Bosstones." I was like, that's such a rad. That's the best reply letter you could ever get.
I want to say, oh, when did Underworld come out?
A long time ago.
(2003) Damn, I was 13. Okay, this is almost. Oh wait, no, it wasn't Underworld.
What was it?
No, it was. Yeah, okay. So I guess I was 13. We had an assignment in, I think it was like creative writing. I want to say it was like 7th or 8th grade. It was before high school. But it was like a creative writing assignment. And we had to write a piece of fan mail to a celebrity we liked. And I wrote one to Scott Speedman, the dude who played Michael in Underworld.
What?
Because I'm pretty sure Underworld had like just come out at the time. It like blown my little 13-year-old mind. That's why I thought I was younger for some reason. Blew my 13-year-old mind, and I looked up initially the writer and director to see if I could send them something. And it was like, I think Kevin Graveau and a couple other guys. Yeah, and Len Wiseman was the director. Couldn't find anything on any of them, but for some reason, Scott Speedman had a fan mail address online, and I sent it to him, and I got a letter back. I believe it was destroyed at my mom's place when it had flooded back in the day, because I definitely don't have it anymore. But I got a letter back, and I was so hyped for it. I opened it up, and it was like a letter that was basically just like thanks from his agent or his manager, like one of those. But it wasn't like dude definitely never read my little kid letter. Yeah, it was so weird. And then he ended up being like almost like turned into a MacGuffin in the rest of the series. That was the funny thing, was they were like, he's the savior of everything in the first movie, and then they're like, just kidding, he's not important.
Well, yeah, even Rusty, who must be back from his lunch break walking the dog, he says the character was a waste in that franchise.
Okay, guys, I guess I missed this. What's the 24-hour comic challenge going on January 1st? Yeah, it's January 1st at 8 p.m. EST. We will be doing the first part of the 24-hour comic challenge. So it'll be the first 3 hours of it. We're not doing 24 hours straight because we're all old, drunk idiots. But yeah, we're all doing 24-hour comics. It'll be me, Ryan, Jeff, Rob Geronimo, Tyler Wentland, Nick Welsh, and Kevin Castanero. And we'll all be hanging out, making our own individual 20-page original comics on stream, talking shit, writing and drawing. And it all starts the first of the new year. So it's going to be a good time. So yeah, it'll be 8 p.m. EST January 1st till 11 p.m. I might go past that after, but we'll be drawing for those 3 hours, and then we'll clock it there. And I'm sure a lot of dudes will jump out after that because a lot of them will probably have to go to bed and whatnot. But we'll see. And then we'll schedule the next one after that. If fans want to follow along, like Phoenix, I believe you're an artist as well, or maybe you're just a writer. I've been drinking.
Just a writer, but he's a creative dude. He might, because this isn't about like making
it's like
the
it's
raddest
more
comic
about,
ever. You could even do stick figures.
Exactly. It's about getting something down on paper. But we are doing a little bit of a giveaway. And I think I said if writers wanted to write a 10-page script for a short story, I said we don't have to do it on stream because that would be a little bit not entertaining or anything, but a little bit time consuming and really quiet because I have to read through it and everything, especially if I'm gonna give any feedback or anything like that. But me and Kayla said if any writers wanted to do like a 10 or 20 page script of their own idea during the 24-hour comic, because it's hard to find an artist to do something like this on short notice. But if you want to write a script for a story, just something original, you have to do it while you're live with us and basically catalog it on Twitter or whatever. Like each 3-hour part, at the end of it, you just be like, hey, I'm at 6 pages, here's the pages, this is what I've been working on. Interact with the community. That's what this is all about, is just all of us hanging out and making some new stories together, pushing ourselves and supporting each other along the way while we do it. But yeah, for the writers who want to write something, I will be going over them with Kayla and any of the other dudes if they want to look at them too. Possibly providing a little bit of feedback for it if you guys want them. But the big thing is we were going to pick the one we liked best and give away a copy of Brian Michael Bendis's book, Words for Pictures, which is a book all about writing for comics that I recommend to tons of people. I'm not a huge fan of Bendis's comic book writing, but this is like a crash course.
Is good.
Yeah, it's
good.
The closest thing to like a college textbook on making comics at like a very low entry point. Like it's very easily digestible information, and that's what I think is most important, is that it's not palatable but just understandable for everyone. it's a foundation for you to build off of, and then go and build and create your own awesome worlds. And it for me early on, along with a lot of other books, dispelled a lot of the like mythology and gray areas of comics. So we're going to give away a copy of that for writers, and we're giving away a gouache set and some sketchbook stuff to the winning artist. Padrino, you have to draw a 20-page comic in 24 hours. Yes, all of us.
Also, before you answer that, hit up Colin's questions while I deep sea dive.
Because of my massive time difference, do I have to play along at the same time? We're doing honor system on the fan comics. Like, I don't think everybody's gonna be able to make it to all of them. Like, I don't even remember what time it is for Colin right now. I don't know what 8 p.m. EST is for him over there. But yeah, like I said, it's the honor system. So basically, I mean, you guys only have to do a 10-page comic in 24 hours. You don't have to do 20 like us. We're only requesting that the fans do 10. So you got basically double the time to do what we have to do. Back to editing manga or working hard at my day job. But yeah, it'll be cool.
We like to hear that.
It's not bonkers. Well, it's kind of bonkers. I have a drawing tablet and can do something in Clip Studio Paint. Yeah, so I mean, you can enter as an artist, or you can just do a script. You can do both if you want. But yeah, I think it'll be a good time, and we're giving away the little gouache set and everything. Basically, the artist winner will get the exact setup that I'm doing my comic with, which I think will be fun. I don't know what the fuck's going on either, but my girlfriend has been like hounding me. I told her not to get me things for Christmas because I'm gonna be all busy and shit, and it's like, we don't have room in this apartment. She was like, you're gonna be excited. So I'm assuming it's like art shit, because that's all I've been doing. Art and writing. Like, I'm excited for like a notepad. Is this more trees murdered and turned into things I can write on? I'm going to create the ugliest masterpiece known to man. Perfect.
You're in the right place, Mitch.
I'm like 15 hours ahead of you. Might be working during the streams. Yes. Well, January 1st is the first one. So there's what, like a little bit less than a week now? Or more than a week? I don't fucking know. What's time anymore?
Yeah, a week from Christmas. Basically. Friday.
Oh shit, happy Christmas Eve, y'all. It's 12:15 here.
Still Christmas Eve here.
Yeah, so it's not basically a week and a day. So not Christmas Friday, but the following Friday. Very cool. Yeah, that's gonna be kick-ass. I still have a lot of work to do on mine because I got sidetracked with other stuff. Got hit up for a bunch of sketch cards and stuff because you guys kick ass. But yeah, that is going to be a lot of fun. And I was telling Beth the other day, I'm either going to piece it apart in pages and just sell them all for really cheap, or just sell the thing all as one big book for like a decent price. I don't really care too much about making money off of it, but I like it to go to a good home. Make a little bit of money to put into more Death Curse shit. You can cheat like that, Padrino. I'm 16 hours ahead. 4:18 p.m. here. God damn. Yeah, it's 12:18 a.m. here. Pack of toilet paper is gold in UK right now. That's wild. 6 splash pages and 2 double page spreads. Is that what you're going for, Padrino? He showed me some stuff he's worked on behind the scenes, guys, and telling you, I've been telling all these guys that I'm talking to them, like, you gotta be, even if you're just like obviously do your own thing. If you want to do fan pages of other characters and stuff, sample pages, most people call them. But always be producing stuff. Do some pinups. I regret not just like banging out sloppy pages for the last like 15 years of my life, even with my fucked up hands. It's like just to be producing shit and like doing it. Like you're gonna make 1,000 bad pages, but in there might be 10 good ones. You're not gonna get to those 10 good ones though if you don't do those 1,000 bad ones.
Yeah, you can't just produce the 10 good ones.
Exactly. And once I started to like get over that, I told Beth that too. I was like, I haven't been throwing out paper. I have like weird ripped up scraps of paper. I'm like, I'm gonna just draw a head on this really quick, get some practice in. I'm like, I find myself more and more now just zoning out and sketching when we're just like hanging out and talking. I'll start spacing out and sketching stuff, getting back into gesture drawings and stuff like that, trying to find. That was one of the biggest things I saw from Silvestri is he'll draw tons of basically stick figures, just trying to find like cool poses and stuff that he likes.
Mm-hmm.
Or he'll there was, I can't remember the video exactly, but he's like looking at, I think it's like an old Jack Kirby book or something like that, and he's looking at poses that he likes from these classic artists, but then like noodling like gesture drawings of like, how can I do it my way? And I'm like, that's brilliant. He's not like aping the poses completely and just like ripping off Kirby or whoever, but he's looking at like the poses and the things that grabbed him when he was younger. Like I like that, and I was like, that's sort of that like reverse engineering and building it back up your own way. And he's one of those dudes where I'm like, I'm trying to understand more of that. Like, what makes it so intense and like intriguing to me?
Like when you're looking, like what you're looking at a splash page, say, you're like, what makes this splash page work for me?
Yeah, like Silvestri's stuff, I don't know what it is, has always had like so much energy and like oomph to it. Like I know it's a still image, but I'm looking at it and I'm like, yeah, even people standing still look like they're exploding off the page. I actually mentioned it the other night when we were looking at Shelby Robertson's book on Indiegogo. I always liked the Silvestri, how he hatched like silhouettes in the background and stuff where they were like a bunch of really tight, scratchy lines.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't just like a solid black silhouette. It was almost like not necessarily like, it was just like vertical hatching basically.
Okay.
It's all the things that he was like throwing to the background. Here, actually, I still have Shelby's book up. This. I don't know how good it'll be to see on here. These three guys in the orb right here. I don't know how clear that comes through on here, but it's just like vertical lines stacking over each other. It's not like a full like blacked out silhouette. And that was like a weird thing I always really liked about, like, it looked like Silvestri like had the technique and the know-how and the care, but he didn't mind like noodling and getting a little bit sketchy with it. It was Todd with more technique.
Yeah, and a really clean stroke. Mark has a really clean.
That's like what I mean.
Work, it's like, even though it's scratchy, each line is
everything is so tight.
There can't be any. I wouldn't quite say tight, because again, but that's me getting into the nitty gritty of.
Yeah, you're like a fucking inker. I'm just an idiot with eyes.
Yeah. So. Yes, it's a matter of you move so fast with each stroke, there's no chance for it to have any waver.
He pencils with a mechanical pencil, right?
lead holder with like the thicker
Really?
lead. Yeah.
That's
Everyone
fucking
at Top Cow's
wacky.
same setup, and pretty much same setup like David Finch uses, where it's your lead holder, your lead sharpener, your kneaded eraser, your white eraser, and your brush to brush away your eraser. It's like those 5 things and a ruler. And the guys, you've got Silvestri, Benitez, Finch, like those are all the tools they need to
They were
create
doing
all
that
the
with a
stuff you've
lead
ever seen.
holder? What the fuck?
Yeah, because then you use the side of the pencil, the lead, which is wide, and that's how you go in and block in all the shadowy shapes.
Yeah.
Like if you look, especially if you look at like Wills Protasio's pencils, he does that the most.
I
But
get
they all
that.
use the same techniques, basically. Like
But
you
I'm
said,
not-
like, go ahead.
Like those are such fucking tight lines. The fuck? That?
All right, what are we saying about that?
I'm like, hang on, let me see if I can zoom in on this. Oh, god damn it, it's fucking Pinterest.
Oh, so yeah, no.
It's the worst.
I'm wondering if I have a Xerox of that one. I don't think I do.
Yeah, is this Hunter Killer? Is that what
might
this
be
is? What is
something
it?
later.
Oh no, wait, no, Cyberforce. What am I thinking?
Oh, okay. Sorry, it's so small on my phone.
Yeah, I think this was the Cyberforce Oh, I keep forgetting you're on the phone. Oh yeah, and of course I'm not sharing the right page now. Maybe a little bit better. I mean, it's on an 11 by 17 board, but I'm like, I evidently need to get a better sharpener for my lead holder. Oh, it's like you're muted. I can't hear you at all.
Oh, sorry. I have this. It's the closest thing I have to that. So, like, all this would have been done with the side of the pencil.
Yeah, all the heavy black and everything.
Yeah. Like, actually held it on its side, like. I don't have.
Now on that heavy black on his pencils though, is he's leaving that that like back white, that like subtractive rendering, he's leaving that up to the inker?
This stuff here, the white there you're talking about? Yeah. Yeah, that's
what I mean. Like, would that just be all solid lead right there? Like he's hitting it with the side of the lead, and he's leaving that hatching up to you.
It's there. It's there. Let me see if I have another example. It's there, but it's looser. It's there so that the inker can follow the form.
Because I'm like, the pencils on this one are like 1-to-1. You could trace this. This doesn't look like this leaves much suggestion for the inker on this one. Like, this is a super fucking tightly penciled piece. I don't think this is how he's always penciling, though. This is very obviously a cover. But this shit is fucking wacky.
Here, we can look at this is a Ghost Rider one I always whip out. Oops.
Whip it out, brother.
So you can see it, see the pencils, actually. This is 11 by 17 Xerox. It's as close as I can get to the real pencils.
Yeah.
So you can see, yes, tight, but those are all just kind of do your thing here, inker. That's what all that means.
That's what I mean. I'm seeing that more and more now as I've been researching pencils more and more, because I was always like, all right, if I'm going to do comics, I'm going to have to do all of it. I'm going to have to ink my own shit. Like, I don't know if people are going to want to work with me. But now that I'm like, oh, I got a fucking inker to work with me, seeing like there's some pencilers where it's really tight, and then there's other guys where it's like there's a scribble here, and they're like, he knows what to do with this, and I'm like, oh, this is crazy.
Yeah, because see, again, it's like you might say, what's a good example? Like the hand. Sorry, I'm moving around a lot. The hand, like, the hand looks really tight, but when you look, that
shit is barely defined to me, other than a couple of planes on like the fingers.
But to me, this is perfect penciling.
Really, that's that makes me feel a whole lot better, because that's like a hand I'd draw and I'd be like, this is fucked up.
Nah, that's a perfect hand. That's all you need, and that's how I like the information. Like when I was inking stuff, I wanted the underdrawing to be really tight. I wanted the figure to be tight, and I wanted the rendering to be done in the direction it's supposed to be done.
Yeah,
but I didn't have to trace each line. Yeah, I didn't have to trace each line. Like when Favok came in, everyone was like, "Oh, he looks like Finch," but he was way too tight. I was just tracing him. It was weird. Sorry, go ahead.
No, this is great. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but this is all stuff I've been thinking about, and that's great, because like I've definitely watched a bunch of Finch's videos, and I was thinking about stuff like that, and I was almost like, I'd remember you saying, like, I don't want you wasting a bunch of time doing too much work and sort of like leaving you with nothing to do.
Well, it's not even nothing to do. It's more of the like, it's actually more to do. The tighter the pencils are, the more it is. Like,
you have to like think about it.
Has to, yeah.
You can't get into your own flow or anything.
So this is an example of the side of the pencil that would have been done on this cable forehead.
Yeah.
So it would have been done like this. So you can see there's still direction. And
like he's doing a direction where you would hatch
some spacing. You can kind of but you could also go solid black on that, and it wouldn't look bad. And have it, gray out a little. But
Rob would mask that all off, black it out, and then splatter it with some white.
Probably, yes.
Just shots at Rob.
Oh, Rob Geronimo. Yeah. Sorry, no, I was thinking Liefeld. I was
right.
Huh, weird. Okay, weird. No, yes.
Rob would cover all the feet and debris, which I respect.
And this would be solid red.
Yeah.
All back here. But yeah, so that's an example of that side of the pencil, what that would look like.
Excellent. Oh, is Mitch taking off later?
Sorry, I haven't been paying attention to the chat.
Gotta roll for now. Girlfriend's only night off, and we're gonna finish the last 2 episodes of Mando. Later, dudes. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you as well, Mitch.
Oh, have a good night. That's
hell yeah, man. Dude, the right sin pencils of Ghost Rider on his bike are one of the last things he ever did, and it's one of my favorite fucking pieces of his. That piece kicks so much fucking ass. Actually, I should just like commission you to ink that for me sometime, Ryan. That is,
yeah, you should.
Genuinely, and it's like fucking Ghost Rider, like, should be just like smoking a blunt on his bike with how badass he looks. Dude, it's so fucking, and I know tons of people have inked it over the years, but I'm like, holy shit, man. You've probably seen it before too. I know I've pulled it up on here a bunch of times.
Okay, cool. I was just about to remind you, like, hey, it's just me on the screen.
Yeah.
And later, Mitch. I didn't say goodbye to Mitch. Later, Mitch.
Him on the bike. Yeah, somebody did an inked version here. Oh no, this is just somebody penciled over it harder. Yeah, or adjusted the levels on it for some reason, but
oh yeah, I do remember that piece now.
Yeah, here's someone who inked it.
I think I've mentioned before, my coolest piece of Wrightson memorabilia is I have a portfolio with pencils and Xeroxes of inks from the Creech and Spawn, but the front of the portfolio is signed by Bernie Wrightson to Danny Mickey. So that's a cool piece of, like, I don't know, comic history memorabilia that I own.
Yeah. Fucking passed like the week before I was supposed to finally get to meet him, and I was just like, God damn it! It's like the supposed to be one of the best conventions ever.
I was super high one time when I met him.
It was like going to a funeral. Sorry.
Oh no, that's fine. Sorry. He was at a bunch of cons out here, so I saw him a bunch of times, and I didn't ever like really fanboy out on people, but he was someone I would just stop and, you know, stare at his work and then, you know, go away before I did anything embarrassing. And but then one time I did embarrass myself. Like, I was looking at all his sketches, and then I was like, whoa, that's only $9 for that one? And I was like, I'll take that. And I had like $10 left, so I was like, wow, I thought I was just leaving the con. I didn't think I had enough for anything else. And I was pretty young, so no ATM or anything. I was like, it's only not. I was like, I'll take that. And then he was like, all right, that'll be $40. And I was like, what? And then I looked, and it was number 9 out of like 20 prints. Like each print had a big number on it, and I just saw the 9 for some reason and didn't notice any of the other numbers on any of the other ones. And so then I had to be like, I don't have enough. And he was like, all right, sorry. I'm like, damn.
Right. Fuck off, kid.
Yeah, I was in high school though. I was young. It was but it was still kind of embarrassing.
I watched a dude do that, except it was the numbers were basically abbreviations for the hundreds of dollars you'd be spending.
Oh geez.
And it was like the guy saw like I think it was like 10 or something like that, and he was like, oh my god, that's insane. It's like, yeah, because it's $1,000. It's
yeah.
So they're just
buzzkill pricing.
Yeah, they're just abbreviated to get you really excited. That Boston Comic Con that was like a funeral too was the same one where I got like yelled at by Liefeld's security men, guys. Probably because they were like paid security and gigantic, and I was only like 2 inches shorter than them and like a burnout. That I was like hanging out near Rob's booth a lot, talking to other pros, but it was like they were like weirdly like super dicks to me. And then later on in the weekend, I was just like at a booth looking through old Image comics, and there was a dude next to me like giggling and nodding like as I was flipping through books, and I looked over and it was just Liefeld. Like, he's just like, that's a good one. I was like, what the fuck? Like, that was probably one of the only good experiences at Boston Comic Con, was standing next to Liefeld and having him like chuckling to himself. And then a brief interaction with him before just like walking away, which is also hilarious because I met Frege and I was like, fuck yeah, dude, Frege's cool as hell. And I met Rob Liefeld and was like, yeah, whatever. But yeah,
different vibes.
Yes, and seeing him with fucking security guards was just like so corny. I think this was like right around the time the first Deadpool had been coming out too. So he was like huge, but I did think that was cool that like he like walked around the floor after the fact without his security guys and was just like buying comics in a hoodie.
Yeah, that was when the show was over. And I don't mean the convention. I mean him putting on a show was over. Yeah, like he was just shopping at that point.
Turned into like Unabomber nerd mode. It's like, yeah, he's just walking around with like his hoodie zipped up and his like celebrity badge like tucked under his hoodie, and his hood pulled up, and like you could only tell it was Rob Liefeld if you looked like straight into his face. I just thought it was funny. He's like flipping through Image stuff and like other back issues of like old shit like right next to me. It might have been old Marvel stuff because there's like a bunch of stuff, but he's like right near all of the image boxes that I was looking through.
It's like, oh, this is a book we made $100,000 on. How cool! I remember this.
Yeah, just like chuckling, and I can't even remember what book it was where he was like, "That was a good one," but it was like a book he obviously had worked on, and he's just like giggling to himself. It's like, this man is outrageous, and I love it. Now I'm gonna walk away. It's like that's the same convention where me and Mike got to see Stan Lee from like 5 feet away, and it was depressing. We had like an Excelsior moment with him, but we still could never confirm if it was like with him, or it kind of felt like one of those moments where someone waves at you and you wave back at them, and then you realize they're waving at someone like 20 feet behind you.
Like, damn, he was Excelsioring at that chick over there.
Not even kidding. You want to know what it was? Me and Mike turned around and fucking Nia Nub was behind us.
Oh God.
Yeah, like we were over near there was a booth that had that little fat-lipped frogman like in the little like blaster seat from the Millennium Falcon. He's in like the little gunner hatch, and you could like go in the gunner hatch and take a picture with him. And he was like out of the gunner hatch, just standing next to it, like 5 feet behind us. And like still to this day, me and Mike are like, don't know if he said it to us or Nia Nub.
I did get shoved down. I didn't fall on the ground, but I got shoved pretty good and then back into some people by one of Stanley's security guards when they were walking him through the con once.
Yeah.
And I was just walking normal, turned around, and the guy like kind of like had his forearms up and just boom, just hit me.
We found out after the fact they were like ushering him into a back room. This was 2017. It was the last East Coast con he ever did before his passing, and they were ushering him around. He would come out and sign autographs for an hour, and then he would go back to this like padded soundproof box they had made him. That was like a 10-foot by 10-foot soundproof room they made like in the convention in one of the corners. And he would go back in there and sleep.
Oh, jeez.
And he would go do that, and then he would come out and sign for an hour, and then he would go back and sleep for like an hour, and then come out and sign for an hour. It was the strangest shit. And I think we talked to a couple people, and I think a signed picture of him was $600. And if you wanted a signed picture with him, it was $800, where they would take a picture.
Wanted a signed picture of him while he was sleeping, and you're hovering over his body. It's $1,000.
Yeah, right. You can climb in bed with him. Yeah, it was. I think it was
changes depends for.
I think it was for $800. You got it with him, and they like printed it out on scene on like cheap photo paper, and then he would sign it. But like, everyone at Boston Comic-Con that year came exclusively for that signature. And it was like a thing where they were like, oh my God, it's his last East Coast convention. We're going to get all these signatures, and it's going to be like the last time he signed stuff on the East Coast, not realizing that's what every other motherfucker in Boston thought that day. So like it had to be 100,000 people got signatures from that man. And then you found out all that money was being stolen away by his management and like his daughter or whatever the fuck happened. That was around the time they were like stealing his blood to like sign documents with.
Jeez.
Yeah, that all that shit at the end of his life was insane. But
Never
yeah,
be that
like
famous.
Dude, it was insane. We saw like we had the Excelsior moment with him. I think that was the first day, and Nia Nub, and we were like, we definitely just stole that Excelsior from Nia Nub. But that was like, I think the only time that weekend where we saw him like normal, like looking like the Stan Lee you saw in the movies and stuff. And even like at that capacity, he looked old as fuck, like the oldest he had ever looked, obviously. Like you could tell like he wasn't long for this world, and it was kind of a bummer, but he was like still dropping Excelsiors and smiling and waving to everybody, and was like, yeah, it's fucking Stan the man. Second day, dude, complete change. Like he would have looked more normal had he been walking around with like a ventilator and like an IV bag on a rod. Like,
oh jeez, yeah. Well, at that age, that's how it is. My aunt got into her 90s, and I would go see her once a week. And if I saw her twice in a week, the second time she was ragged from the energy she had put out to see me for an hour.
Yeah, not you like.
But if she only saw me once a week, if she only saw me once a week, she was great. And she was like, "That's all the energy I have." She's like, "I don't want visitors." She's like, "I think people don't understand that about being old. Is you're fine being alone for a while."
Yeah, just relaxing. So you know how hard how hard it was to put dress pants on today. Like, it's fucking terrible. But yeah.
I'm gonna be all about muumuus at that age.
Oh, totally, dude. Just gonna be like a shirtless old man in a kilt. Like, what's up? Just do the Brando thing where I only wear shirts and let people interview me and shoot me from the waist up. But yeah, that con was so depressing. That's probably like worst con experience ever was the 2017 Boston Comic-Con. And that was where we like met a bunch of big people at DC and everything, and they were like, "Man, we'd make you famous, kid, but we don't run Vertigo. We let other assholes run it. We don't really care." It was different times. Oh yeah, it was done within like a year after that. And what we were doing could be considered diverse, but it was also wildly offensive. Like we had a lot of people be like, "This is crazy refreshing to read something like this," but whoa, man, you were dancing on some lines. We were like, "Oh, we know, and we're ready to dance on all of them and fucking cross a lot of them too."
That's what Vertigo used to be about, and I didn't necessarily like everything they did, but I liked giving everything they did a go. I liked giving a chance to everything. You know,
the DC guys I talked to, though, from the way they made it sound, it was almost like at that point Vertigo was operating as like its own publisher, so they were kind of like a separate arm, and those guys weren't at that convention. So it was like, they were like, "Oh, we dig it, but the best we can do is be like, here, reach out to these guys." And I did, and nothing came of it. But like, that was the Jay Lee story that I told before. That was like where I met him. That's why I posted a big thing when fucking Tom King came after that dude. It was like, fuck Tom King. Like, Jay Lee's one of the few dudes I can attest to having met on a couple occasions, and I was a nobody, and he was like, "Damn, this looks really cool. Let me introduce you to some people really quick." And it was like without hesitation. Like this dude was like, "No, you should be making comic books," and like brought me to the people I needed to meet, which has never happened since. Like.
Well, that kind of stuff rarely happens anyways. So you end up in a lot of unique situations, maybe I should say.
Because I think my mouth gets me further than anything. I'm good at conveying how passionate I am about things, even if it's in a substandard brash format. I can still manage to get my point across and convey how serious and dedicated I am to things. And I feel like that's a lot more important at times. Being able to convey your follow through.
I just saw the time. I got to get going here and cooking dinner in a few minutes.
I was just about to say the same thing. We said we were going to do like 2 hours, and it's gone for almost 3.
Yeah.
This has been a good one though, and I got my brain flowing, which is really cool because lately these have been like for a while I would stream, and after we got off the streams, my brain was just fried. But lately we've been doing them, and I get off, and I'm like. It's like fucking recharging my batteries, and I'm up all night writing and kicking ass. So yeah, I'm going to get back to work on some Camp Rainbow things.
Yeah, I think that's because sometimes we're on and we're riffing and joking, and when you start doing that and you're having fun, like the chat's doing it too, that drains a lot more energy than when we're just talking ideas and doing chill streams like this. Like,
Yeah.
Because I'm ready to go do a night's work now.
Not firing on all synapses.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If I'm not competing with Jeff for silly riffs, I'm not that tired.
Right.
But I am hungry.
Sucker right going to visit his family.
What a loser.
Yeah. No, I get it though. But yeah, thank you for coming on, Ryan. As always, great to have you. Other dudes in chat, thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah. Thanks for the jokes and the ideas and
yeah, Merry Christmas
stories.
Eve. Check out Hammerella, check out Wirehead, check out City of Rot. Check out the 94, Volume 1. All the links are in the description. If you can, donate to the Snogans Family Relief Fund or tweet that shit out to all the dudes.
And late night inks tomorrow night. Sorry,
Yes,
I didn't mean to interrupt that one. That was the one I did not want to interrupt. I thought I'd waited till the end.
No, that's perfect. And a late night inks, a very special Christmas Eve late night inks. So if you're wrapped up on the family festivities and everything, and you're burning time before Santa shows up, you can pop in and hang out with Ryan tomorrow night. Tonight if you're on the East Coast like me, because it's already Christmas Eve. So yeah, Merry Christmas, dudes. Happy Hanukkah, because this is a half Jewish household as well. Fucking have a good time, guys. Stay safe. Love your family. And I'll probably be doing something tomorrow night too. We got the Christmas special, but I want to do that when Jeff's back. So that might be like a Sunday night thing.
Awesome.
But I'll be in costume and I'll be drunk. That was part of the reason for getting the green screen ready. And I guess I can show a little peek here. This thing has fucking ears.
Oh my gosh.
And a hood. Very, very. Oh, it's green though. Fuck.
Oh no.
Oh,
that's awesome.
I'm a disappearing elf. Oh my god. That's okay. So I have that where I'll be a disappearing elf, and I did not think that through at all because it's green. That's hilarious. Yeah, I'm intense. But also,
so funny. It's so rad how you discovered it there live.
But also, I have a fancy Three Wise Men outfit on deck. So, if the elf isn't going to work out, I can always get down on some Three Wise Men. Yeah.
Maybe you could take a commercial break partway through and do a costume change.
Oh my god, now I'm like, I can get a green screen bodysuit, like Green Man. And just be a floating head on the show. Holy shit.
We're going to have some fun with this.
Oh boy. Ooh.
All right. Hit us up with your ideas on what Spencer should be with this green screen.
Yeah. What fucking dumb shit we're going to get into with this green screen, boys. Yeah, that was just a genuine perfect reaction. I love how I'm like, yeah, I got this elf outfit and the green screen all set up. I hold it up, it's just ears.
I was wondering, I'm like, what is that red ball he's folding up?
Yeah, I'm like, oh fuck. Yeah, that's
Teletubby Ninja.
Yeah, right. That'll be hilarious. I can come out and that means I'll just disappear. I'll look like I can cover everything except for my mouth, so I just look like a hairy asshole floating in an asshole with teeth. Yeah, this green screen is going to be a lot of fun. lots of visual gags. But yeah, dudes, thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back tomorrow night at some point. But don't miss Late Night Inks with Ryan tomorrow night.
That's
because
right.
that'll be way more substantial.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Take it easy, dudes.